Hello, I am Shasi and this is the Silverfox Hustle Football Talk episode, and again as usual we've got a couple of guests in the show, two to be exact, but before that please subscribe to the channel. We are out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the works, so please share the love. Now today we're going to talk about football parents and their kids and their ambitions of the kids to become professional footballers, and we want to talk to a couple of football dads and see how far they can sacrifice for their kids and see how this goes. In the podcast today, as I said, two guests. One is Mr. Selva and the other one is Mr. Peter Tan. Welcome to the Silverfox Hustle podcast.
Hi. Thanks for having us, Shasi. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you guys here as well. Peter, let's start off with you.
Sure.
Obviously, you are a soccer dad or football dad. We don't like to use the word soccer nowadays, right? It's football. Football. You're a football dad. But before that, way back, were you playing the game? At what age groups did you play? And
Okay. I actually started social.
Yeah.
But, played a little bit of competitive as I went along. So played in the NFL with a team called Katong FC. I think they're still around. So played with them all the way from Division 3 till Division 1. So had some good times there.
Nice.
But nothing professional. Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Silva?
Myself, I had big ambitions to be, of course, like many other white deck khakis back then.
Right.
But I was playing for Jurong Town, the youth team,
Okay.
when I was 16, 17. But I was diagnosed with a heart condition when I was 17, just before going to NS. So I had to actually cut down my soccer. And then after it was just leisure football with friends and all that. Yeah.
Okay, I know about this a little bit, about the heart condition, and people at home, if you don't already know, Silva just went for, not just like
1.5 years.
1.5 years. What was this procedure? Please tell us.
No, it's actually an open heart surgery to replace my valve.
Okay.
Aortic valve. It's quite a major surgery.
It's not quite, my friend.
It was a major surgery.
Yeah.
And but the thing is that I found out early. And I actually prepared for myself. So when I played football, I could pace myself, and that was.
Wait, were you even supposed to play?
Probably not. Again, the thing is that it's football, right? And how do you just stop just like that? Right?
Interesting.
Just pace, manage yourself, and then
And I'm glad that you are on the road to recovery, and you recovered in that sense.
Recovering,
yeah.
in that sense.
Well done, Silva.
I just wanted to say the surgery didn't stop the short fuse. Then,
I'm not saying anything about that.
Pete knows too much about me.
I just want to ask you guys as well. I don't have to ask you, Silva. You know, the jacket that you're wearing tells us all that you are a Liverpool FC fan. How about you, Pete?
Same. That's why we get along quite well. Yeah,
okay.
So.
How about the short fuse? You have a short fuse as well?
No. Pete is the exact opposite.
Really?
Yes.
Nice. Good. Now, okay, let's go on, because this is after all about football dads, and your kids basically, right? So you have, I think, two sons who are playing at LCS.
Yes, that's right.
By the way, I have to say this is not an LCS podcast, but we just happen to have parents who have kids playing in LCS, right? So I think we've got to say that right off the bat as well. Silva, you've got Krishaf,
Yes,
who's playing in the under
13.
Okay,
yes.
And
Burnout. The youngest is
okay.
Burnout, and he's in the football school of sorts. He's 7 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Pete, how about you?
I've got older one, Kieran, who plays with LCS U17.
Okay.
And Tyler, who is with U13, together with Krisha.
Right. So how did your boys start off playing football, Pete?
I don't know whether it's in the blood, but I never really promoted soccer.
Okay.
I watch a lot of EPL, so they watch together with me, and I think soccer is it's easiest for any kid to pick up, because you just kick a ball, right? I mean, it's not like picking up a stick to play golf. So they just naturally gravitated towards soccer. So yeah.
I get that as well. Silva, how about you?
Okay, mine is it's
forced.
Yes, exactly.
Seriously?
Yes.
I was just kidding.
The thing is, no, I mean it, right? The thing is that what I couldn't, it started off like that. What I couldn't do, it started off as me imposing what I wanted to do on my son.
Nice.
So initially it was not a very smooth journey for Krisha.
Okay.
But that's how it started. But over time it's changing. I would say it's changing, and it has changed significantly. Now it's about him. Initially, it was about me.
Wow.
Imposing on him.
This is very interesting, right? And not a lot of parents will say that. As in, I'm doing this because of maybe I couldn't play because of your heart condition, maybe, and you wanted, that's amazing.
Yeah, just to jump in. I mean, for us, we believe in doing multi-sports when they are young.
Okay.
So we always allow them to try out different sports. So they went through like water polo, swimming, all competitively.
Okay.
And at a certain age, we will ask them to decide, because if you want to be good in the craft, you have to pick one.
Correct.
I'm not complaining that they pick soccer, because I love the game, right?
Yep.
Although the wife prefers them to be Joseph Schooling, but
yeah, that's probably where the money is, and debatable, right? Debatable. Yeah. Okay, this is the next question I want to ask you. At what point, like you said, right? They played a couple of sports and then they chose. At what point did you think on your own that, hey, this guy is not bad, man. He can probably excel more in football, and at what point, Selva?
I can't pinpoint the exact age. But coming back to my what I said, right? When I started letting go, right? That's where I saw the real him coming out a bit. And
give me an example, like how?
Like this guy at a very young age, when I used to control him a lot on the pitch, tell him everything, whether the coach shouts any instruction, I will do that. You see, I will do that, and then so when I started letting go a bit, could see him expressing himself and showing that he's not like a messy kind of player, but he reads the game very well.
Nice.
So when I stopped reading the game for him or instructing him, right, I could see him having a good understanding of the game. I thought that was his strength.
And very interesting. Pete?
I can't say very much for Tyler at the moment, because he's still developing. He's young.
Yeah. But he's 17 now? Or
no. Kieran is 15.
Okay.
But I thought he had some potential when he started to be more influential in the games.
Okay.
And rallying his teammates, being more vocal, and that's where I thought that. Yeah.
But that's the I should say the leadership part of things, right? But how about the football part, the maybe the technical side of things?
I can only depend on the coaches to tell me. I mean, to be honest, I've not been in any professional setting, so I wouldn't be able to tell whether. So I always rely on the coaches to come back and let me know. So there isn't like a magical moment where I say, wow, he's going to be the next what.
So it's been like a natural progression for them.
It's been a natural progression.
Tell me, what have you done, or you guys have done with them in terms of so they're not bad, they're good. So did they just join the LCS right off the bat when we were younger, or before that, where were they?
Khrushchev, no.
Selva is smiling already.
Yes. So he was in a few other academies. And then for me, the most important thing is the development. You see whether the child improves, gets better every other day, right?
Yep.
But so I couldn't see that. So somehow we happened to bump into LFA before it became LCS, right? And then so it happened, Khrushchev was invited to go for trials, and somehow this was when he was 5. So prior to that, he was already in 2 academies. He started very young, and so after that, it was like you could see that he gelled into the team, and you could see that improvement, and that's where things started.
Same for you?
I think Kieran started when he was in JSSL,
right.
And after that, he went to the JCOE at Queensway under Coach Jasny.
Right.
So at the same time, we fell into the ecosystem, because I think it's the system was somewhat similar with the LFA system, and that's where our boys got involved. So
no, it's good that you spoke about the academies before, and then you joined LFA, and before that you didn't see the progress, right? So from then on till now, for both of you guys, right? How has the progress been? Has it been really? I think you can see it. Pete, you start with you.
I think they've been given opportunities like, we could never sniff these opportunities when we were younger. So, growing up, they may not be able to register the opportunities that they're having now. But, I think they have improved in certain ways when it comes to understanding of the game. So, positioning, what their roles are, and to be honest, these are beyond me, and I'm also learning from them, what they learn from the coaches. So that really impressed me. I think the way they grow in terms of character and also understanding of the game.
Silva, I want to ask you this. In terms, let's not talk about the football part, the technical part. I think he's grown. Let's put it this way, right? And I think it's clear. How about the other aspects of the game, right? How has he grown? Can you see a clear progression there?
The other aspects,
like I don't know, could be leadership, could be the mental skills part. Every other aspect beside the technical part. Maybe the passing is better. So how has he grown?
He's certain aspects he's still growing, still developing.
Right.
Because he's every now and then he's having new teammates and
Correct.
all that. The coaches are changing and all that. That part is. But the emotional part, initially it was a bit of a turmoil for him, right? When I was in there and me giving a different set of instructions, the coaches coming in, and the mother was in between, trying to manage everything. If not for the mother, I think things would have gone very. I mean, yeah.
Right.
So,
I agree.
Yeah. So you see, and the LCS LFE setting, the parental support is fantastic. So sometimes the parents, the fathers and the mothers, hey, back off, man. Hey,
they told you?
Yes, Selva, hey, he's doing well. Hey, back off.
Right.
So it's like a very family kind of thing. So it's not just the players on the field, not the coach, it's the parents.
This is very interesting, Selva. And this is not a criticism or what, because I'm a coach as well, right? So this bugs me as well. When parents come in and start shouting, right? So you realize this that it's I don't want to say wrong. It's not. There's no right or wrong.
Say it as wrong.
No, it's not right or wrong. But it's like going in and shouting, right? So when do you feel that it is wrong to you, in your opinion, or when somebody tells you this, or maybe the I don't know, maybe the LCS staff or group of coaches tell you, or how do you realize this?
The thing is that, yes, Shasi, but the thing is, when I grew up, I was growing up in that kind of environment.
Of course.
For me, it was okay, coaches shouting. We played at Farapa, we played at Hangjebat Field and all that. Everyone was shouting everywhere. And we just took it in and we just played our game, right? So things have changed now, right? We learn a lot. And also, the thing is that sometimes, even with all this, you lose yourself, right, in the game.
Of course.
Especially my expectations of Krishav is high.
And
every game I expect that. So that's when the coaches and we have this. Yeah.
Does he tell you, Krishav, like after the game, like in the car maybe?
No, he doesn't say anything. Krishav doesn't say anything, but the youngest, he tells me off straight away. So that's the difference, right?
Do you have that problem, Pete?
I used to do more shouting when the kids were younger. Then I realized that the message doesn't really get through to them. But I think it's every parent will want the best for their kids. So sometimes they shout, and they think that's the best way for them to communicate with their kids for them to do better on the field, right? So I don't think there's any right or wrong. I think it's what you think your kid can perform better under the circumstances. Yeah. But yes, younger we shout, we get excited. Yeah.
This is a very fascinating discussion, and it's good that we're doing this as well. And it's not like I'm telling you it's wrong and you're telling me, hey, it's great. It's a great discussion to have, and parents who are watching this or are listening to this as well, you guys are in the same boat as well as me and these guys here. It's a great opportunity for us to actually listen, and this is first-hand experience as well. What is the single most thing you attribute their improvement to? Is there like one single thing that, it's very difficult, it's unfair to say just one single thing, but what have you attributed their progress to all these years? Is it maybe repetition? Is it their experience overseas? What is it? Silva, maybe you can.
Actually, I will pin that to the coaches, It's the coaches and the feedback that they give. Of course, the overseas and all that, it comes the next level, right? But primary, thing is the coaches.
Okay.
I would actually attribute Trisha's development to the coaches, and there were so many coaches who have actually who have molded him, who have shaped him, and
give us a few names, man.
Yeah, Tan Liu,
right.
Coach Lee, Coach Galen, Justney, Douglas, Coach John. I can go on and on. There's so many. Coach Ideal,
right.
And of course overseas we have the IFT coaches as well. They have been training him for the past 4 or 5 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pete, how about you? Do you attribute that to coaches as well, or any other thing that you want to add on to?
Yeah, I think Selva had it spot on. But it's also the kids realizing that the support mechanism behind is serious. You know, the parents are serious, and also, you know, the facility and academies they are in are also very serious.
Right.
And I think that helps them have a different mindset. You know, it becomes like PSLE all of a sudden. You know,
right.
Yeah. So.
Sorry, Sasi.
Yes, please.
I mentioned a few names. If I don't mention these 2 names, I'll be hanging. You know, Coach Achap, Coach Luca, who has just come in. He has taken them to a different level. And you know, like what I say, right? The list goes on, but from each of these coaches, they learn a lot of things.
Right.
And that's when we actually step back and, you know.
Yes, very right. And you know, coaches, I have to say this as well. You guys play a very, very important role. If you guys don't already realize this, I think it's very important that you guys know this as well. I just want to ask this as well, okay? Because I think this discussion as well, it's getting a little bit serious in terms of your boys probably making it maybe in, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, maybe into a professional setup here in Singapore, or maybe overseas. That's the best. Do you think you are putting all the eggs in one basket? As in, you guys are so serious about this bit, right? So do you think that you guys are putting everything in one basket so soon, maybe? I don't know, Pete. Throwing you a curveball.
No. I think it's a good question, because we have to be very realistic in Singapore's context. You can't be good at 2 to 3 different crafts. Because we just don't have the luxury of time.
Right.
So I think whatever the kids have decided on, I think they really have to take it seriously. And you know, not waste the ecosystem and everyone's time. You know, whether they become professionals or not, I think they just have to give it their best shot. Because I don't know the hard statistics behind it, but I can assume that even at this age, there's only a small percentage that will make it. So they can only go out and it's cliche, but the truth is they can only go out and do their best. And see if they fall within that percentage.
Interesting. Selva?
Yes, most definitely. We are putting all the eggs in one basket. We're taking a big risk. Not only for us, it's for him. But we also tell him that, look, at any point in time, if you feel that this is not for you, let us know, and you can actually exit. And
you know, it's interesting, you know, because I understand and I agree with you as well, because I think if you want to do great stuff in one craft, I think you got to go all the way. There's no iffy, there's no half here, half there, and you know, because then what happens then, right? So at least you want to go all in. If you do well, then great. If you don't do well, then you know that you've tried your best. Because it's a very important point that you made, Peter, because I tell my son as well, you know, sometimes kids get lazy, right? Like, I don't want to go for training today. I don't know, could be 101 reasons, right? So my simple answer or question to him is, do you want to play or not? If you want to play, then you are sleepy, you are this, you are that, you still go. You know, you are this, you are that, you still have to go. And that's it, period. If you're not serious, then we quit. You know, I think that is very important, and kids have got to understand that as well. You know, the strawberry generation or whatever generation, right? Because the one slip and then they want to quit, they want to do this, they want to do that. No, you know, you want to do it, you do it. If not, then don't waste my time, because you know, I'm sending him all the time, right? And you guys are sending him every day, right? It's the same thing, right? So I think it's a very important point. This is the part that I'm so happy about for the kids, you know, the traveling bit. These guys, your kids, have traveled almost everywhere in the world. Almost, right? And how lucky are they? right? They've traveled and they've played games, and it's not only about the games, the being together, staying in a hotel, the nutrition part, the mentality part, everything. These kids, and we can only envy them, right? What were their experiences, Selva? Tell me, in their own eyes, when they went. I think some of the trips you went as well, right?
Yeah, some of it.
What was the experience like? Tell us.
The thing about Krisha, just for Krisha, right? We probably underestimated him, right? Initially, we were thinking, sending him on his own with the team, how is he going to go? But he actually coped well, and this is not what we heard from him. It's actually what we heard from the coaches.
Right.
He said, look, they're well behaved. They know how to conduct themselves, training off the pitch, the pitch, and we were actually quite surprised. So sometimes I think we need to let go. We just underestimate them, probably even at 12, 13. I think his first trip was 11, 12 on his own. So I think he did quite well. And of course, in his own eyes, he will say, it was okay, good. The only thing that we hear from Krisha for Tyler when they come back, I talk to all the kids, right? How was it? Good, that's it.
I think that's so typical, right? Same thing when they come back home from school, right? How was school? Okay. How was training? Okay. Well, they never tell us anything, man. How about you, P? What did he tell you, like, on his trips? Anything funny happened or whatever?
So I got two boys, right? The older one, so it depends on which stage of their mental development they are, and their experiences are different, right? So for Tyler, younger one, he goes there, he comes back and say, I had a great time with my friends, and that's all that matters to him. And it maybe later on in the years he will start to understand that he's given opportunities that he may never have ever again, but he just wants to be with his friends, enjoy the company, the teamwork, but they come back as better friends. So that's important. For the older one, he's on a different path. When he goes there, he looks at where he fits. When he plays against the Europeans, can he take a top league academy player and mark him out? So these are the things he watch out for, because he's on a different path, man. So
interesting.
Different maturity level.
Interesting. And I like what you said, Selva, about underestimating their independence. I think that's the word. I think they are pretty independent, right? You can actually just leave them and they will sort themselves. Obviously, with the little details, you get angry with them. They forget stuff and whatever. But I think we kind of underestimate them, right? They actually can do it on their own.
They will be on survival mode once you're on your own.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So what has this done for you guys? During these trips, right? What do you think about has it been a brilliant experience or to you guys?
I think the not so brilliant experience is to wake up in the middle of the night to watch the games.
But you mean their games then? So it's on it's in the stream. Brilliant.
But I mean, it's fantastic to see them on the field playing in Europe against so the experience for us is really, really fantastic. So and see how they match up against this potentially world stars later years, right?
I want to cut you in here. You know why?
Why?
If you can stay up for a Champions League game at 3 o'clock in the morning, you better wake up for your sons, man. You have got no excuses, my friend. But listen, I think their experience of going away and playing, and we are not even talking about the football part. Obviously they've got to go there and improve. Obviously, right? What they see and all, but it's that experience of going overseas with a group of people, being together away from your family, and it's the independence part. You're teaching them that as well. Exactly. I think that's very important. I want to ask you this, and along the way, at any one point, have you ever guys thought, I think he's not gonna make it? As in, it gets, you see what's happening in Singapore football now. It's not going great, and then your son is doing well at this stage, and then you see what's happening along the wayside after so many years. These players have got nothing after that, and whatever, right? Whatever, can be anything, right? Do you guys have that thought in your head that, I think let's just quit? Silva?
No, not for me.
Yeah?
When we started, things were already like that, right? So for me, it's just one way.
What was already like that?
The system here, right? What you call that, the ecosystem, the process,
Right.
whatever you call that. Right? It was happening, and
Right.
we also talk about national service and all that. All this always comes in. Okay, that's part of it. So for me, it's whether you like it, you can make it. If you think you can make it, you can do it. Let's go for it and then try. Whatever happens, I know every other career, whatever you choose, you're gonna have this kind of difficulties, right? It comes in different forms and methods. That's it. So it's just that give it a best shot and then see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. How about Pete? Pete, I think you will say I want to quit because waking up at 3 o'clock.
Kidding. I want to jump in. Pete, I think it will be more difficult because both Kieran and Tyler, they're very good water polo players. So if I've been there, I've seen them.
As in national caliber players.
Yeah, they would have.
This is
for Kieran.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting topic,
Tyler
right?
also
No, I mean, Tyler stopped midway, so.
So okay, this is very interesting, right? So and they were good at water polo.
Very good.
Very good. Okay, let's say that they excelled in that. So they decided that they wanna.
Yeah. So
wow.
So Kieran had to make the hard decisions because when he was offered a scholarship with the academy LCS, he was also drafted into the water polo youth.
Wow.
So he had to make a hard decision, and he decided that he wanted to go the soccer route, which, like I say, I don't complain. So
did you or your missus have any apprehension?
Not really. I think we followed their passion, and I mean, it can go very wrong in water polo as well. It can go very wrong in any sport. So I think just follow the heart. Yeah.
Wonderful, man. That's a wonderful message, right? And both of you, obviously, you right off the bat you said no, and you had a slightly more tougher decision, right, in terms of the two sports. Wonderful, great. How about studies and football, right? How have you guys, or not you guys, your boys coped with that? Because I think especially with the elite boys at the LCS, they are training almost every day, right?
Yeah.
And how has that been like? It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough. I think for us the biggest sacrifice is for the family would be my wife staying home, and not going out to work, and the reason is clear because I think for the boys to pursue their passion and also do okay in their studies, I think you need that constant figure at home that will drill them. So she's always driving them. There's no lag time.
Wow.
There's no lag. So she's always driving them from school to academy and to whatever lessons they need to go. So every single minute is fully utilized. We also have a very strong parent support,
Okay.
And so we got good friends around.
They fetch the kids, they send to the academy, and then
So I think all this plays a part. Yeah.
It's almost, dare I say, living for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
It's
without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, it's living.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I get that as well, right? The sacrifices about the mom staying at home because of that. Sorry, you're working, right? And your side, both are working.
Yes.
Yeah, your wife is teaching, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it is a sacrifice, isn't it? I wanted to ask what have been the sacrifices so far, and you answered already. One of the biggest one is your wife staying at home, right? Because I think you're right. You both can't be working, and then there's a lot of things, the logistics part and stuff like that. How about you?
Yeah. For our family, I mean, almost the same sentiments.
Right.
But the thing is that ours goes beyond just the father and the mother, the grandparents, the brothers-in-law, and the friends, and all that. They come in and they support, and the players' parents, and all that. If not, you can't sustain that.
So how has studies been for them? They're
good.
They're doing well.
Academically, academically, very good.
Yeah, I think my wife has a very good secret sauce, which is to make sure that they do a bit every day, so they don't
consistency.
Yeah, consistency, because we hear a lot of parents when it's near exams, O levels or PSLE, they actually stop soccer, which I don't think is good. because if you
it's so typical, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you take it out, the system is going to be worse. They're going to struggle. You know, imagine you run every day and I tell you don't run today, you feel quite shitty, right? So I think the same goes for them. But if they are consistent throughout the year and they don't have to mark at the end, I think they can still. So we have always been going for the training even during exam periods.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Nice.
I'm not saying it's for everyone, but
Tyler brings his homework to Holland.
Wow.
So Krishav and Tyler were roommates. So,
nice.
Yeah. So I was doing a WhatsApp call. I said, hey, no studying, it's just football. I told Tyler, Tyler, you don't spoil Krishav.
Spoiling the market. Hey, that is. Hey, listen, like this, you're right. The influence is very good as well. You know, when he brings the books, and then Krisha will be thinking, damn. Yeah, I got to do something, right? You know, and it's great. It's great peer pressure as well. Yeah. It's brilliant, man. We have seen examples of. I think we know Sasi, who's with the kids in Atletico Madrid and doing ever so well, right? Any plans like that for you guys? I think you've sent your son to Portugal for a bit. Yes. Any chances of you guys do on your own, not with LCS or anything?
Yeah.
Any chance of that happening, Pete?
So recently we sent the boys to Japan to Ben Forest. It's a J2 club.
Okay.
So
on your own?
Yeah, okay. On our own. They were very. I mean, we had good friends who in the industry who helped pull some strings for us. So, and the reason why we brought them there is the possibility of living there. Okay, one of the possibilities.
Right.
But also because the dream for them, especially for the older one, is I want to play in Japan. So I say, good, go there and see what the standards are. And I can tell you the standards are crazy good. Yeah. So for him to open his eyes and be there and try it out, and I really respect Sasi for doing it because it takes a lot of, if I don't mind me saying, it takes a lot of balls.
I'll say it for you.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many factors, and I think he got it figured out. He brought the kids there. Obviously his kids got potential, and I think be there to be there. I strongly believe that. So I think he's on a good formula. I hope. I hope he's successful.
Silva?
Definitely, it's in the plans, in the pipeline,
right?
And we've also highlighted to LCS, if any opportunity comes, then we will actually make the move. Because another thing, Shasi, the thing is that when the kids go there, they raise their game. Our kids. So and that 12, 13, 14, it's a crucial age for them, because once you miss that boat, it's a bit difficult.
Of course.
So if you want them to achieve their fullest potential, you must put them in an environment where they will have the highest chance. I mean, with all due respect to our situation here, right? Players here and all that, but I think you have to put them into the environment and see how they do.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you guys about this, because this was quite hot recently, last week or 2 weeks ago, and it does not affect you guys now. Maybe later on in the future, when you guys, when your boys become professional football players, right? The latest initiative by FAS, the Players Concierge, I think it's called, and don't know exactly the specifics. We all don't know, but there's this thing in the pipeline as well. How does that affect your thinking? Because in a nutshell, they say that national players, once they retire, there will be help for them and whatever after that, right? In terms of help, how does that affect you guys as parents now? Because I think one of the reasons why that was raised was because they want parents to think now there is something after football or something like that, and I don't know exactly what the specifics are. How does that affect your thinking now? Pete, you start off with you.
It doesn't really affect the path that we are on, because even without this initiative, we are on that path anyways, right? So I think maybe if you see, we could be a different category of parents.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want more kids to consider soccer as a career, I think maybe or maybe it's in the works, but maybe they can look at existing players. The welfare for the existing players. I mean, you talk about pay scale. Short-term contracts. I think all these things got to be sorted out,
right?
And show that football is a potential career, and I think there will be more people who will be taking it up.
you just like hit the nail on the head, right? Because what are we doing for our players right now, earning 1,005, 1 year or 10-month contracts? It's not helping now with that. And then you're right, Silva. Does it affect you in any way?
Oh, for me, I cut all that off.
Right.
So the thing is that we come up with a lot of initiatives, plans, ideas, and all that. Until the day comes when you execute, you do it, and things happen. When I see changes, then I'll start believing in these things.
Right.
So if I let all these things think too much about it, I think I won't even make the next step.
Right.
So I cut this off. Currently, Khrushchev is with LCS and is very well taken care of. They're doing the right things and all that, and I'll just take it from there.
Yeah. I just want to say this just to summarize you two guys. I think at the end of the day, it's the responsibility of the players in question, the responsibility of parents maybe at this age, but when they become professional footballers, it's their responsibility to do what it takes to survive. After retirement, you got to do what it takes. As for any other jobs in the world, right? If you want to change jobs, you got to do your research first before you do it, right? Jump into it. Brilliant. Any thoughts of burnout? Do you think any worry that your kids might have this burnout thingy? I don't know. I'm just
not now.
Yeah.
No? Based on the current trend, they're enjoying their football, the studies, the friendship, and all that. But it might happen if, let's say, if you choose an entirely different trajectory, it might happen, and then we'll take it when it comes.
Right. Pete, you wanna?
Yeah, I know when we were growing up, we go home, we play soccer from 1 p.m. until like 8 p.m. So there was never burnout. So,
but that's different, It's different because it's not structured. It's not structured.
Yeah. So I agree. The structured way has an element of stress to it. So I do agree, but I don't think at this stage they are. At the stage where they will suffer any burnout.
Nice. Well, football dads, I want to ask you guys this, right? Where does Tyler and Kieran, right?
Yeah.
Kieran, Krishav and Pranav, 5-10 years down the road, how do you see them? How do you see them going, or where do you see them in these 5 to 10 years? Do you have any ambitions or dream that this is the?
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
My personal thing is that I think Khrushchev, I'm not sure about Pranav, he's still developing. Khrushchev will make it to the top club in Europe.
Right.
I have that confidence. He has that. I strongly, but of course, there's a lot of other factors like injuries, all these things coming in, right? So, I think he has and based on his overseas teams, based on the coach's assessment and all that. He has a good chance, based on his current estimated potential, he has a good chance of making it. But let's see how it goes. So that's why we might be willing to make that.
Nice. Yeah. Fingers crossed, Pete, how about you, man?
Okay, I'm going with a safe answer. No,
sitting on the fence.
No, because I don't think they are fully developed. Meaning, I think you can only know the football brains can be there, but physically is also physical attributes also another thing, right? So until they're fully developed, we will know whether they stand a chance. I just plead to all coaches, do not write off any young boys just because they are smaller. Okay, they are not their maturity is not at a certain level which the rest are, and give them a chance, playing time, let them keep learning, and you never know. I mean, the cream will rise from the base, right? I mean, those who are good now may not be good later. Those who are not good now will rise later. So, it's a level playing field later on.
That's a wonderful message, man. That's a wonderful message. Any last thoughts, both of you? Maybe a message to your sons. Maybe, I don't know. Selva, we start off with you, man.
I hope. The thing is that recently what I've heard is that people are saying that the football culture is lost and blah 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 and all that. For me, I feel the exact opposite. Okay, the culture is still there. People are still playing football. Now it's even better because parental support is there. Now, Sasi, imagine we send our kids. We wait for 2 or 3 hours. I've seen you wait 2 or 3 hours for our kids to finish training. Last time my mother also used to wait for me, but that one to whack me. Once I go back home, she will wait 2 to 3 hours just to whack me. But now you see parents, grandparents coming down watching, and the culture is getting better. It's just that certain other things needs to improve, the ecosystem, the process, or whatever you call that. And I think if this comes together, I think we can become a great footballing nation once again. Yeah.
My message to my kids, and I hope they do their best and take whatever opportunity that comes their way, because they have to realize that they are the privileged few who have these opportunities, going abroad, having all these opportunities thanks to academy, and just give it the best shot, and if it happens, it happens.
Silva and Pete, thank you so much for being on this podcast. And I've said this to all my guests. We can actually go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to football, we can talk for 2-3 hours, over a cup of coffee.
We haven't started with Choa Chu Kang yet.
Exactly. we haven't started with his nonsense on the touchline yet. So thank you again for being and sharing. It's not easy coming down here and sharing your thoughts as well, and your frank thoughts as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I so wish your 4 kids, your 4 sons, to do so well and do whatever it takes to get there, and we wish them all the best as well.
Thank you, Sashi.
Thanks, Sashi. We wish your kid well also.
Oh, thank you so much. This has been the Silverfox Hustle Football Talk episode. We'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye.